everybody says that too.
Hello there.
Happy
Hi, everybody.
Friday. TGIF
Oh, yes.
would be something we normally say.
Yeah.
And you know what?
We really mean it this week.
This is square biz.
Do we
mean
really mean it?
Oh, I
Because
do.
it doesn't make a difference.
No.
Every day's the same around here. And you're the only one that's really working.
Yeah, well, but no, you guys are
Oh,
working.
I'm
You're
working.
You're working.
We're
Everybody's
working.
We're
It's not the
all working.
same.
You're in your place of business, so you're working. But, it's, thank God it's Friday. We're all working.
TGIF.
Yep.
Live from Rabs.
Hey, Ronnie.
Coming
Good to
at
see
you
you
from
too.
inside Rabs Country Lanes. It is, what would you say today is outside? It rained, the sun came out, but now it's,
Cooler. It's
It was,
cooler.
it actually, to me, this is a perfect afternoon
Yeah, it's very cool.
right now.
Little
There's a
overcast.
nice, gentle
Overcast.
breeze.
Yeah.
But it's
Hopefully it stays like this. It'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't think we're supposed to get any, there shouldn't be any more rain in the forecast.
oh, I thought they said it was going to rain this evening.
Well, if Bill Evans was still with
Well,
Channel
tell
7,
right, yes,
which
yes.
I have him in my cell.
Later tonight.
Text
Yeah.
them.
He
Yes.
would tell us. He would say, well, there's a front coming from the Delmarva Peninsula, and there's a chance of showers maybe later on tonight about the commute home. But other than that, have a great weekend, folks. And then when he got off the air, he had his regular Mississippi twang, because Bill was a Mississippi guy. So he used to put on his television voice.
You know,
Oh, right. He
Yeah.
does have that
Oh,
really kind of.
Yeah. Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I used to call him Johnny Rebel. That was my nickname for him. Yeah.
You know what's funny is if you didn't watch that show, right? The morning show on Apple, you never got around to it, right? With Jennifer Aniston and what's her name? Oh God, I can see her. Anyway, it's a great show, and they have a new a weather guy, and it's just it. I honestly believe that those characters are all based on real people.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Definitely Steve Carell is Matt Lauer. Absolutely. I mean, it really is. I mean, the whole story revolves around his story of his downfall.
Oh, I was going to say early career? Or
Oh,
downfall?
no, his downfall.
So they went right for the gut.
Oh,
They
Frank,
went
I'm
right
telling
for it.
you, it is a really, really... Reese Witherspoon is in it. That's the other.
Okay.
I knew her name was...
It's on the list. I got to catch up.
Put it on the list.
Yeah.
Move it up a little bit.
Move back.
Before Ozark comes back on, and then you
Oh.
can't watch anything else.
You know, it's funny. So we've been researching and looking to see when, like some of these shows have gotten green lights for another
Yes.
season.
Yeah.
Hollywood is working, so they are filming, which is interesting to see,
Yeah.
especially
Yes.
in California.
Yep.
So hopefully, and a lot of these shows really aren't even filmed in Hollywood. A lot
Right.
of these Netflix shows, I mean, depending on where they're from, they're filming from where
They're
they
on
are.
location.
You know, they're on locations.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Canada, there's a lot of international.
British Columbia has a lot of. There used to be a show on back in the '80s that I was hooked on called Wise Guy with Ken Wall. It was a.
That sounds
a
familiar.
he was an undercover cop. He infiltrated the mob and anything like that. I'm hooked.
Right.
And they filmed that whole series in the city of Vancouver for like 3 or 4 years.
Really?
Until then, Ken Wall got into like a headbanging thing with his contract, and they killed his character off, and Stephen Bauer took over as the new Wise Guy.
They do watch.
And it was all a beautiful city, but it was all on location. So yeah.
And sometimes that makes for the best. That makes for the best sets because
Yep.
my only challenge with HD these days, it's really HD.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
You could now see. You could tell the difference between on location and a set.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and don't get me wrong, it's still incredible. It's all incredible. But you notice it more now than you did before.
That's
And
right.
makeup too.
Yeah.
Some of these, I mean, I think
Definitely.
some of them need better makeup artists.
Yeah.
I'm going. I shouldn't
Wow.
see that there's caked up on your temple.
You should see some of the makeup artists, but we'll leave it at that.
Joe, welcome back.
Thank
We've
you.
missed you.
Thank you. I've missed being here. Thank you.
We miss having you.
Thank you.
We've had a busy couple of weeks here on.
Yeah. Yep, I've been tuning in, usually late at night around 9 o'clock or 10 when I say to myself, it's time to watch the show. And I watch and I'm like, okay, it's been a hectic couple of weeks. Yeah.
It's good though.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And before we went live last week, again, no sense of time. We had lost Regis Philbin,
Yes.
and
We were
you
just
were
talking
reminiscing about your
Yes.
Regis Philbin.
Great man. I always made
Experience.
sure he said hello because obviously, he worked at WABC, which is on the corner of Columbus. Our building is down the block closer to like Central Park West, but I'd see him outside all the time for years. And he actually lived right across the street. He had an apartment on Columbus Avenue, and always made sure he would go out of his way to say hello. And he called everybody, "Hey, big guy, how you doing there, big guy?" As long as he didn't call the women big guy. But
Right.
But he was.
I don't think he called Kathy Lee big guy.
No. He had his pet names for her. But him and his wife Joy, who, by the way, very pretty woman. Very elegant, and he was always dressed well, and just a nice guy. Regis was a downright nice guy. But probably the oddest place I ever ran into him was one day years back. I still occasionally to this day I still go to confession. That's the kind of Catholic that I am. I don't go a lot, but I go.
Well, you probably don't have much to confess.
Well,
The occasional curse word,
Yeah.
the maybe bad thought,
Yeah.
but it's probably bless me, Father, for I have sinned, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Yeah, and
Do adults confess cursing?
I don't.
That was the thing you did as a kid, right?
I don't know.
As a kid, because you couldn't come up with that. I lied to my mom.
Yeah.
I said the F word.
Yeah.
Like these days, I mean, if I had to confess to every F word, that came out
Then
of my
even
mouth,
more of a reason
I'd be there
why
for hours.
Joe is probably in and out.
Yeah, I'm pretty quick when I go.
Yeah.
I'll
So
say.
anyway,
But there are people that still, and when you get there, sometimes when you come out, you look at the line and you're like, oh boy, am I glad I only took about a minute and a half because these people, there's a long line. But
poor Jimmy's trying to get in, and Michael's not in the back yet.
So in the back, he'll come around to this pro shop. That's what he does.
So I was online, and I happened to be first, like the next person, and the line started to fill up and back me. This had to be confession, I want to say about 25 years ago, maybe more. And the little light is on, that the room is occupied, and the door opens up, and who comes walking out but Regis? And he had his head down when he opened the door, and he picked his head up, and he saw me. Now, he recognized me, but I also had my ABC card around my neck, ID card that they like us to wear. But when I go out to have lunch, I don't take it off. I leave it on. It's easier. So he looks at me, and he kind of smiles, and he nods his head, and he goes, all right, big guy, you have a good day. I said, you too, Mr. Phil. And he kind of winked at me like, let's keep this between us. I'm like, you got it. But yeah, he was just an all-around.
I wonder what he was confessing.
I don't know, but listen, I know very, very good Catholic. Who knows? But he was a churchgoer. I'd sometimes see him at Mass, the weekday Mass at that parish, 12:10 every day, and every now and again he would be there. So just that kind of guy. Yeah.
And everybody, and every interview, everything, nothing, nobody's ever really, I mean, everybody kind of bad words said about them, but nobody really says it had said anything.
Pretty much unscathed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because he was real.
Yeah. He kept it real.
Yeah. And so, and I hate to say this past 2 weeks, Ellen DeGeneres has been in the news. And, some of that stuff you've heard in the background for years, but you're not there. I don't work in the studio. I could say, oh, she's a total bitch, but I wouldn't know on camera, in person. She seems like
she comes across
she's
as
the
a very
queen of nice.
caring.
But somebody like
nice
Regis, you never ever had that scandal, so to speak, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And sadly, what she's going through, whether it's true or not, some people we know say it is true. Some people say it's exaggerated.
Probably pissed off 1 or 2 workers because they didn't give a
and that always happens.
Here comes Michael.
Oh boy! So now this is going to be a comedy act. Michael, Jimmy was just banging on the back door, so I don't know which way he's coming.
He goes in through the pro shop usually.
But he's going to have you a neck.
He's going to think about.
Oh, he's the one that's early too.
Oh boy. That's a good deflection, Michael. That's good.
He's always ready for deflection.
Yes, very good.
And the blue hair isn't what does it. It's just Michael.
Yeah.
So that's a good. I like that story.
Yeah, he
I
was
like that. Out of the confessional. And you did the impression.
Yeah. Well, okay, there, big guy. You have a good day. Okay, Mr. Coleman.
Which is the theme of today's show.
Yep.
He's going to be here. He's going to be here at about 11:30, and when he gets here, I'm going to let him explain why he's late.
Okay. That's all good. So our guest is running late, and if you know anything about our guest, we'll introduce him when he comes on, and he does impressions. Here comes Jimmy.
There he is. Like I
So Michael just snuck through the back door and went that way as you came this way.
Totally distant.
Yeah, I don't know why the door's not open back there.
He just got here. That's why.
Oh, the goings on.
So
A lot happening.
can you do, so Joe, your impression of Regis?
Yeah.
Doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Are you ready to play?
Oh.
Can you give that to us?
We actually went to a taping once, and is that your final answer, audience? I need to hear from you. So, but yeah, Regis was he was very, again, engaged and very into everything he did, whether it was the talk show, whether it was Millionaire, whether he was doing a commercial. Very, always very animated and very into what he was doing. He put his heart and soul into everything.
Yeah.
He did.
They don't make them like
It
that.
comes across in his work, you know.
Yeah.
Like Frankie said, nobody has a bad word to say, and people who have worked with him have the kindest words to say, and not just his peers.
Right.
People that worked under him or
Yes.
worked for him,
Right. Yeah.
always said that he was kind
Yeah.
and polite, and they always say you can judge a person by how they treat
Yeah.
people.
Everyone.
The everyday person.
Mhm.
So
Well, and that's what goes back to what we're seeing in the news this week. So
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's a
and
shame.
the reason why we just came up, we'd shown an old photo
Yes.
From
When he was
20
here.
years ago.
1996, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
When he was here, they filmed a segment for the show. He was challenged by one of our bowlers.
And he had a bowling shirt on.
And our friend Nicole Maliotakis had shared the photo.
I'm surprised Joe Cal wasn't here with that.
Yeah, I was probably working because where else
It
am
had to
I?
be-
Well,
it was
well,
here on
yeah.
one- they were live, so it
Yeah,
was done
yes.
live.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, he had his bowling shirt.
Yeah.
I love when they do bowling segments, and we've been involved in different ones. Even just reaching
It
out,
always
we
has
need a
to
bowling
be-
shirt. Do you have any bowling shirts?
It has to be an old school.
They all go
Yeah.
for the same thing, the
Yeah.
old school bowling
the
shirt
old
with their
school
name
shirt.
on. And but at the same time, I understand why, because
Right.
it's very visible. It's very.
Yeah.
They want the Charlie Sheen
Yeah,
look, so to speak.
my dad had I know how many. I wish I held on to those. My dad had a ton of them from when he bowled. Teams like back in the '60s and '70s. They all had the shirts, the team shirt with the name on the back.
Right,
of the
and they were all
sponsor,
those
the
old-fashioned
button up with
Hilton type.
yeah,
Yeah,
And they weren't
camp
really
shirts.
camp
they call
shirts.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This in one color.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Or two colors.
Right.
And then
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
the collar or the sleeves were a different
Yeah.
color. Yeah, we have them in the shop.
Yeah,
too.
those are like the
Still
old
popular.
throwback.
Today we've moved into polo shirts.
Yeah.
And now these
Fancy
jerseys.
jerseys.
The jerseys are fancy polo shirts because they're fully
Or
decked out, full color.
the different neck because
And the collar.
Yeah, I prefer these. That's just me. I'm an old school man.
Good for
You're
golf.
old
It's
school
good for
guy.
bowling.
Yeah,
It
good for
works.
golf. Well, it's a multi-red. I
Still
wear
look
it for
good.
golf and I wear it for bowling.
You don't look like a slob.
No, you can't look like a slob when you bowl or golf, in my opinion. You gotta dress right.
it's part of the.
Part of the
We
Speaking
could probably
of
do a whole
golf,
segment
Yeah.
on.
yeah,
Speaking of golf,
yeah.
this is the first tournament,
Major, the first
the
major.
first major coming
Yeah.
up this week,
They started already.
and I heard this is Tiger shot in the '60s for the first time
yes,
in how many years did
Uh,
they say?
quite a while. I don't
Maybe
remember the
6
exact. Maybe about
years?
7 years or so.
Yeah, 6 or 8 years they said.
Yep.
I was a little surprised to hear that.
Yeah. He made some long putts. He
But,
sank like a few 30-foot putts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing well, and
Yeah.
it's funny because no matter how far out he gets from the mainstream and how far removed he might be
That's
from
right.
the top players, when his name, no matter where he is
Yeah.
in the standings, they have to say his name.
Yep.
And like
alert
in a
from the phone.
weekend, hopefully like this way, he's in
He'll
contention.
contend. I believe. Yeah.
That I bet you that this is going to be a very watched
Yeah.
finals
Oh.
because people want. I feel like he's one of the few athletes that has managed to kind of try to make his way back from an unfortunate set of circumstances.
Right.
That I really feel like people are kind of rooting for him
Yeah.
to
of
do
course.
well. A lot of times when athletes come back from
Right.
something like that,
Yeah.
they kind of lose favor with people. And, he's just I won't finish that.
Yeah. Well.
But they kind of go on the jerk list.
Right.
And but he kind of seems to be the person that people
Yes.
will still root for, and I'm sure that if they were fans on the
They'd all be there hooting and hollering.
they would be
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
following
Yeah.
him in droves.
Yep.
And
He's charismatic. He's got the whole thing. And even when he wasn't playing well, he was still the topic of conversation.
Absolutely.
and that's
Even
that's
going-
my point.
Even going
That's my
through what he
point.
went through,
Right.
good or bad,
Right.
Right.
self-inflicted.
Yeah,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
He still
Absolutely.
he still prevailed. He was still prominent in the media
Yeah.
because they were always talking about him, even if
Yeah.
when it's bad. Like
Right.
when he came back,
Yep.
flipped it. Kind of, they changed the narrative. Oh, how does he play without a girlfriend? But think
A
about it.
girlfriend or several girlfriends.
Right.
But-
And here we are today, and so,
Yeah.
but he really one of the world's best. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at who he is. They don't
He
take
changed
it
the
away
game.
from him.
Don't
Yeah,
forget.
he
changed
changed,
the
yeah.
game.
and that's the one thing that I
changed the game.
think that when you look at how many people he brought into the sport,
Think about it. Yeah.
people who would go golf, who's gonna watch golf?
Right.
And all of a sudden, and then really, they didn't have there were not a lot of people watching golf.
That's right.
All of a sudden, everybody's watching golf. When you listen to the chatter, it's like, oh yeah, baseball. Oh, did you see Tiger Woods
Tiger
this
Woods.
weekend?
Right.
Did you
Yeah.
see how far he hit it? And the crowds at the golf course.
Yeah.
The only time I remember seeing those kind of crowds was going back to Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or
Arnold Palmer.
or Arnold Palmer,
Right.
where they legitimately had crowds of people.
Arnie's
following
Army.
them. Arnie's Army.
The Army.
Every sport,
Yeah.
every era has that, right?
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
someone that is capped. I'm not that type of fan. I've never was. I like you. Yeah, I'm not going to go stalk you and watch you
Right.
and make sure I see you play. I will follow you. I'll watch you. But at the same time, I feel like I know if I'm a fan, I'm a fan. I'm going to watch it.
Right.
It's just funny how fans do react
Yeah.
which is great because people do come out. They spend more money. They're coming. Now they can't. So that's the other challenge.
Yeah, so now you
TV
wonder if-
ratings, to your point, I think where you started.
Yeah.
I wonder what they'll be because people will want to tune
They've
in,
been good for golf.
hearing the little buzz, and overall they've
They've
been
been
good.
good
Yeah.
for golf.
Their ratings have
They
been.
have been.
Well,
Even bowling ratings have been
Yeah.
high. It hasn't been around. Here it is.
Yeah.
And I think bowling is following the
It is.
same suit that
Yeah.
they have some exciting young players to watch.
Right.
And they've done well with adapting
Uh-huh.
to what's
right.
going on right now and getting their sport back out there.
Right.
And honestly, I think they have a little bit of a leg up because they're individual sports.
Right.
So they
That's right.
don't have all the worries like baseball's having,
Like
like
the
football's
Cardinals and the
having.
Marlins, they're running rampant through the whole
Right,
team.
where now
They could
we're
do their own
finding
thing,
out
be in their
that
bubble.
the team went wherever they went when they were.
They went out of their team bubble.
Yes,
The
they went out
Marlins,
outside
yeah.
outside
They
of
went
the
to a
bubble.
party. Yeah.
Right.
They went to a party on a beach.
Unfortunately, a lot of what we're seeing, yes, they've tested positive, but no symptoms.
Right.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, but we're not seeing major issues,
Mm-mm.
so to speak.
Mm-mm.
Right.
Which is okay.
Nobody that we know of, but again, we don't know.
We'll
we
find
don't
out
know
after.
if those people.
Right.
We don't know if those people tested positive and just went home and they shut
They're
down.
quarantining or
Like
whatever.
right
yeah.
now, I don't know. Maybe that's why Cespedes left the team. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll never
Maybe
know.
he's home quarantining and he's
Possible.
not feeling.
I think we
I'm
know.
not wishing
Listen,
it
in
on it.
today's world of media, we know way
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah, yeah.
I would rather not
And
know. I would if
I'm the
if
same
somebody
way.
is
I'd
honestly
rather-
sick.
Sadly,
Too much
we
info.
usually do know everything.
Too much
We
info.
we know too much about people's private lives.
I talked about it the other day with Peter Body, and he had a great tweet and comments. He in an interview he kept talking about it, but the management was talking so much about this. Just let it be. Let us
Right.
get to a point, get the facts straight,
Right.
and then let's talk.
Then talk about it.
And but that's nothing new. That's just the world that we live in.
Right.
They
having
had to
access
release
to it,
some
something.
kind of something because then
What do people think?
then the whole thing gets
Yeah.
twisted.
Right.
Oh, the Mets are staying mum on Cespedes. Did they ask him not to come?
Right.
Things get
The
so
rumor mill.
twisted.
Yeah, the rumor mill.
People are moving. The kids are out of school.
Yeah.
Cespedes isn't here.
Yeah.
But the kids might be back in school.
They might.
They might
might
be
Governor,
back.
good old. Now we replaced Andy with Joe today. We pretend to talk to Andy. I guess this week we want to.
Yeah.
Nan's gonna have
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's happening.
Did you get your email from him? Did you get your email from him?
Did I get an email?
I get daily emails from Andy.
I got one.
What was your email from Andy?
Well, I was hoping it was about the bowling. Remember how we all
Sent
signed
it,
up
right,
and
yeah.
sent and I sent them a nice little note. I know for those of you out there who know me think I can't keep it brief, but I kept it brief.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
I kept it brief, and I just said, listen, please open up the bowling centers again. For some of us, it's a big outlet. It's something that we do. It's our home away from home. We can social distance. We can wear a mask. We can do all these things. Please consider opening us up. So I figured, well, what's the odds I'm going to get an email back? Well, the other day, I think I'm pretty sure I saved it. Yes, I got an email yesterday from Governor Andrew M. Cuomo.
Oh.
Dear Joe, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I write to update you on the COVID-19 situation in our state. So I'm thinking he's going to mention something about bowling. 5 paragraphs, and never once does bowling come out in any paragraph.
You're a concerned citizen, so you're getting a personal
So
update.
now,
Yes.
so now that you
Which
wrote
I
the
am,
governor,
but
you
yes.
are now on the mailing list.
Yeah.
So those
Yeah.
are the emails that come out every day.
Not for too much
Yes,
longer.
yes.
But anyway, but yeah. So
For every day, I have to say they've done a good job with the community. The daily communications have been good.
Yeah,
Do I agree with all of them?
Yeah.
No, because bowling's not mentioned.
but I thought
Correct.
it was going to be about bowling.
He's
Okay,
bound
you
to
know.
get it.
Gyms were mentioned in yesterday's or the day before, specifically saying that gyms were closed indefinitely. However, before we came on, Naz was mentioning that on Channel 7 News this morning.
Yeah, they interviewed somebody at it was a owner of a gym, I believe, and the reporter said that there is going to be discussion about opening gyms, and the it was obviously I believe it was a chain gym. I don't want to say what name because I don't know. He was saying that they've spent a tremendous amount of money on upgrading their facilities to assure that people are going to have a safe environment to exercise in.
I know that the gym association is doing what we're doing. I believe they've also filed a lawsuit. I believe they are one of them.
Yeah, there was no
that filed.
mention of that, but maybe.
We're just constantly pushing the envelope.
That's what you do. You just
Consistent
got to keep
messaging.
banging at it.
But I believe they are one that, and so they're in the same boat as we are. They're getting, because of the nature of gyms, they're getting a little bit more attention. And then, of course, the concern around the country is that, whether it's true or not, the governor is saying that spike of cases in areas where gyms have opened, and that there's possibility for, but we don't know. I don't know. There's no data that proves that.
I can just tell you personally, I go to the gym. I don't mean now I go to the gym, but I go to the gym and I bowl. If in this current climate, and this is just me, I'm just talking about me and how I feel, I would feel much more comfortable going to a bowling center than I would a gym.
Amen.
And believe me, I love the gym, and I miss
the gym. I am and you're the same way.
I walk around with
I
my
can't-
little
people walk-
wipes and my towel, and I wipe down everything. And some of the equipment I bring myself. I got my little bag, and I bring some of my own stuff. But there's
But
some
there are ways for
equipment
them
there.
to do it too. There are certain ways. Listen, limiting the use. If it's every other machine, it's okay. If somebody's gonna forcefully have to be on the floor, making sure that the machine is sanitized before the next use. I think it's a little bit different because of the nature of sweating and everything that goes with being in gym. I just was never a fan of the gym, but I believe they can certainly do it too. You can obviously see I don't go to the gym.
Well, I'm with you. I don't either.
You can say I haven't, but
I don't either.
but yeah, I just think that I think that good gyms they already kind of have something in place. It's just getting people. Listen, you go to the gym, wipe down the machine before and after. Wipe it down before. I see plenty of people wipe it down before, and then they just get off the machine and walk away. Wipe it down.
Yeah, that's what George.
I don't care whether we're in COVID or not.
Wipe it.
Wipe it. Wipe it down.
Yeah.
Doesn't take much.
It doesn't. Get the spray bottle.
Yeah.
See, you guys talk about me ranting. I can get Naz.
Oh well.
This is like this. You have to say this week, Naz. We got on a couple of rounds this week. It's good. It's good.
It's about cleanliness, which is next to godliness. So you have to just stay clean.
It's not complicated.
That's what my mother always used to say. Cleanliness is next to godliness.
There's nothing here.
I've lost all faith. Again, I've lost all faith in humanity. We have to tell people to wash their damn hands.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Just because hand sanitizer is available to you doesn't mean that's how you wash your hands. Soap and water go a very long way, Joe. You know.
Frank, I went back to the office yesterday for the second time since March 20th, and it's still like the Twilight Zone. And the only thing I can't understand is, and me and a couple of guys went to different floors just to see, is it just the men's room on our floor, or is this like throughout the whole building? Now, they want you to wash your hands, right? That's the common thing.
Well,
is
yeah.
stay clean, right?
I've always been watching.
Okay,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
right.
of course.
Right.
I've done it since I'm probably 2 years old. My parents said you got to wash
Correct,
your hands,
right.
lots of soap and water. Done. So they got these decals all over the building, 6 feet, social distance. There's hand sanitizer. Every 5 feet, there's hand sanitizer. Okay? Now, almost. There's soap in the bathroom. But there are 2 sinks, at least on our floor. The men's room has 2 sinks. On our floor, the floor above us, and 2 floors below us, we went on like a search and destroy type of thing.
Right. Just checking it out.
Yes. Every sink on the left-hand side is wrapped up in plastic with a big piece of paper with an X on it. Do not use. So now, if there's more than 1 person in the men's room, which can happen at times, now you got to wait online to do the thing that they're imploring you to do: wash your hands. Why is 1 sink in every men's room shut down?
Because
Can't be next to each other. You're too close.
Well, it's that, and I think they're trying to conserve water too. Because
I
there's
have a
not lot of
question.
people
How
in
many
the building.
urinals are in the bathroom?
In our building, because we're the older building, there's 1 stall,
Right.
1 door, and 1 urinal.
okay.
Oh,
So I was going to ask if there were multiple urinals. Could you use all?
Well, in the other building
Ah,
that's
there you
next door to us, the building is so vacant that the bathrooms are like every other one is locked because there's 2 on each floor. 2
Right.
men's room.
Well,
and 2
then I
ladies'
guess it's clean. It has
Every
to be
other
clean.
one's
Yeah.
locked, and those
Less
bathrooms have
and
multiple.
saving
saving water
resources
and electricity.
for also
Yeah.
people working. If they open all the bathrooms, then that's all bathrooms they have to clean. If
Right.
they keep it locked,
Right.
we know it's sanitized, we know
Yeah.
it's clean.
Yeah, so the
We don't
building
worry
is just
about
2 people per elevator with big decals.
Yeah.
You stand here, you stand here.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Just
No
2
more than
people
2
in the
people in an
elevator.
elevator at a
That's
time.
right.
Well,
Yeah.
we just came from Sloan, and they have, I believe, the elevator is kind of big. I
They
believe
do have
it's
big elevators.
4.
Yeah, they do.
So
Are
I
you
think
okay?
1 in each corner.
They do have big
Okay.
elevators.
I heard a crash. And,
So yeah, I guess it probably that's dictated by the size of
Yeah.
the elevator.
But it's just like that was my second time in since March 20th, and it's still like the Twilight Zone. The city, the building, it's like being in the Twilight Zone.
Well, why should that be any
Yeah, I know.
different
then what's going on
than
outside?
anything
Right, I know.
else that's going
I know.
on?
Although on a positive note, a lot of the stores on Fifth Avenue, when I took the bus home, we go down Fifth Avenue. A lot of the stores have taken the wooden planks down, so it's not as like scary looking, not as frightening, But,
So how is the bus going into the city?
well, I got to tell you, yesterday morning on the ride in, still made it from my stop to 59th and 7th, which is the last stop on the bus.
Right.
Made it in less than an hour.
That's amazing.
There were more people on the bus.
That's what I was going to ask. Is
There
the
were
bus
more
starting
people.
to get more crowded?
I went back into the city 3 weeks ago for the first time,
Right.
and I'd say yesterday there was about maybe, I want to say, half a dozen to 10 people more.
And what time did you get the bus?
I get on the bus 7 a.m. sharp,
7 a.m. over.
by Highland and Clove.
Right.
By my stop.
Right.
And then coming home, because, when we go in, we're not doing a full cold day.
Right. And so it's a little
Right.
scattered.
So
when
I
people
left
come
the
home.
building yesterday around 3:45. I made a 4 o'clock bus going home, and there was about maybe 15 people.
That's usually a crowded bus too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I'm taking that bus
Yeah.
coming home.
There was about 15 people, so it
Wow.
wasn't terrible.
That right?
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Weird.
Weird. It
Can
was
you use all
odd.
the seats?
Well,
they
yeah,
telling
I
you-
mean, the seats are available, but believe me,
Nobody
nobody's
wants to
sitting.
sit next to
Nobody's
anybody.
sitting next to you. They're across the aisle from you,
Right.
or behind you, or in front of you, but no one is seated.
I
to
ranted
the
about the public buses
Yeah.
last week before
Uh-huh.
about the whole plastic sheet on
Mhm.
the regular local buses. There's
Right.
a big plastic sheet,
Right.
so you get on the back of the
Like a
bus. You don't
shower
have to pay,
curtain.
so the shower curtain. You don't pay for the
Yeah.
public bus.
Right.
You don't pay for it,
Right.
but they have the buses shut off.
You got to get on through the back
So
door.
everybody is lumped in this one
Uh-huh.
area, and there's no control of how many people are getting
That's
on the bus. Now, the bus might come, and you might say, "Nah."
Yeah. On your own. Right. On your
But
own.
most people are just crowding on the
Oh,
bus. The whole front of the bus is all clear.
Yeah.
for the bus driver.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they could put if they really just put something for the bus driver.
Right.
But they're complaining they have no money, but we're not collecting any money.
Wait a
Well,
second.
not on the express bus.
Oh.
On the express bus, they have a
675 each
partition.
way.
They have a partition up?
The driver has a piece of plastic, like
Right.
with a zipper that's pinned up to the back behind him. And
Oh, so it's not even a hard plastic.
no, it's like a soft.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's like a soft.
It's a shower curtain.
What they did
It's got a
is,
zipper on it.
yeah, the first two rows, the first two seats on each side, the first two rows,
Are X'd out.
they have a chain up.
Oh,
There's a chain that you can't. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
yeah, so you can't sit there.
That's
But
okay.
Whatever, that's fine.
But a third of the bus is not. It's a third.
The bus is still empty. It's not crowded, you know.
Right.
So
But the public buses are. The locals are crowded.
I know.
It's so stupid.
not the express bus.
Here's an opportunity to make some money, and you're
Right, I know.
saying no.
Well, the express bus.
well,
is
because they
13.50
would have to move all the coin boxes
Right.
to the back.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're not going to do that.
And
They don't need to
No.
open up the front of the bus.
They
Open the
don't
door.
want anybody near the bus driver.
Put them all in the back of the bus.
They could put
yeah,
them in
get back
the
in the
shower- put
bus.
them in the
How did that
shower.
work out?
they could
Well,
zip it
listen,
up.
Terrible.
this was an ongoing problem before because, and we just, my husband and I just had this discussion about people getting on
Oh, yeah.
the bus and
Nobody
just not
pays.
paying.
No, nobody
Just
pays.
defiantly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a bus driver. You think I'm going to stop
No.
the bus
No.
and now chase these people in the back of the bus and
Yeah.
go, oh, you got to put money in? And get spit on and whatever
Yeah.
else they do?
So I'm sure this is not the problem here in New York City. I bet you this exists elsewhere.
Well, let's
It's
find out.
So our guest is from the Chicago,
What-
from
It's
Chicago,
like in
and we're gonna have to ask
Chicago.
him if he has
Chicago.
noticed anything happening on the city buses in Chicago. But I do want to share this first. So, so Naz, you invited our guest to come on the show because Naz is infatuated with
Nice.
the TikTok.
The TikTok.
It is the TikTok, and
Naz has yet to make videos. We're on it. Harry, our very own Harry, our mascot, has
Yes,
a TikTok.
Harry has a
He's
TikTok.
been sleeping during quarantine, but he's been busy lately.
Yeah.
So he's
I don't
gonna,
see
he's
his
gonna be
head
making
around.
his return.
All right.
However, here's I shared a video. I shared one of Nick's TikToks yesterday. Here's one of his latest.
Come on.
Shelby Company Limited, this is Arthur.
Thank God. My name is Ray. I bought one of your hats off your website last week, and it's not even close to one size fits all.
All right. I would say. You got a pretty big fucking head, Ray.
Jesus Christ. You have a manager I can talk to, please?
You listen to me, Ray. My name is Arthur fucking Shelby. Does it sound like I have a manager?
It says on your website that Tommy Shelby's in charge.
Mother of Christ, not again.
That was good. Very good.
Oh, and you do a Ray Romano impression.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about?
What's going on? I like it. I like it.
Nick,
What's up, Nick?
welcome
Thanks
to
for
Live
having
from
me.
Rabs.
Apologies, I'm running a little late.
So tell us why
That's
you're a little late, Nick.
So I drive my grandmother's '99 Cadillac DeVille, and if you've seen some of my TikToks, you know that's the car I have because I figured it's fun enough to include in some of the videos. Well, what my dad warned me was like, "Are you sure you want to take this on?" Because I know old cars and I love having them, but you're already on a budget. You realize what's going to happen every 2 weeks, every month, every 6 weeks. I'm like, Dad, yeah, it's like it's a part of owning an old car. Like my cousin's a mechanic, his future brother-in-law is a mechanic. Like the labor's the worst part. We can handle, anyways. So it's just been one thing after the next. I got the windshield fixed a couple of days ago, and they told me in the engine bay that it was leaking oil. So I'm driving this morning, going to get coffee, and there's no oil in my car. And I'm trying to look at this thing like I have any idea what I'm not a grease monkey. So I call my cousin. He's just waking up. I'm like, Mike, I got like 20 minutes. I can't get home. I don't want to risk it. My grandma will kill me if something happens to her car. So it's become the family hassle, and it's a ton of fun. But mornings like this, when I have a commitment with you guys and I'm 40 minutes late, is when it stings a little bit. So
Okay, you're here.
I apologize. But
You apologize. You're okay. So, what is it like being Italian living in Chicago? Because I'm assuming you're Italian.
yes, sir. Yes.
Come on.
What's that?
I said you're a paisan. Come on, you're a Pisano.
Exactly. Are you guys all Staten Island?
Yes.
Yes,
From
sir.
Staten Island?
Well, I'm originally a Brooklyn guy, but I got married and my wife dragged me overseas here to Staten Island. So, here I am.
Never been to Staten Island. When you say overseas, you're referring going from Brooklyn to Staten Island.
Yeah.
Over the Guinea Gangplank.
Yep.
As we call it.
Yep.
Verrazano Bridge, right? Is that the bridge?
Guinea Gangplank. Yep. That's it.
Oh, that's funny. Being Italian in Chicago, it's not like New York. I have New York relatives. I guess North Jersey and Connecticut. But they have the accents and everything. Chicago's. Everyone's got their own twist. I feel like what makes Chicago Italian is Chicago Italian. Beef sandwiches,
Yeah, there you go.
hot dogs.
There you go.
It's the food, right? You
Yeah.
guys have your pie-shaped pizza. We got our squares, Depression era squares.
Notice how pizza wasn't listed first.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even try and compete with New York pizza. I'll tell you, I'll concede right now that New York pizza beats Chicago. A deep dish is good, but I'm not going to act like Chicago style is A, deep dish, and B, better than the New York style. So,
All right.
Well, we're glad to hear that.
Right.
We do agree. However,
Appreciate it.
there is some good Chicago style pizza.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite? If you're gonna have pizza, where are you headed?
where am I headed? What restaurant?
Yeah, where are you having pizza? What's your favorite pizza in Chicago?
I mean, if I'm going deep dish, it's either Giordano's or Lou Malnati's.
Yeah.
Those are the two big ones. Thin crust is Paisano's for me, for my family. Paisano's is actually also the the Malnati family, but it's, the brothers, I think, split up years ago, which is not.
Here either.
What's that?
That never happens here either.
I'm sure it never happens in family business. After 60 years, you can only
He's with them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
part of the family biz. Only so many generations can maintain, right?
Okay, so the second most important question is sauce or gravy?
Sauce.
There it is.
Right.
Sunday sauce. Thank you.
Sauce. Gravy is Thanksgiving for dry turkey. That's what it is in our family. So it's definitely sauce. How about you guys? Is there parts of New York that differentiate it all?
Oh, it's a thing. It's a thing.
It's a big thing.
Yo, it's quick because once it has meat and it's gravy, it's sauce. It's not sauce. It's yeah.
I don't know I'll be honest. And that's the first time I've been asked that or had this conversation, obviously, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about making the distinction, whether it's regional or if it's about the U.S. and immigration or if it goes back to the home country. I have no idea what the difference is. I've met equally just as Italian families, whether immigrants or not, that will just say one or the other. And I have no idea.
It's definitely regional and family based.
It is family based, and I think a lot of it has to do with if families call it gravy, it's because they put the meat and everything like the braciole and the meatballs and the sauce, ribs and all that goes in the pot with the sauce, which now the sauce becomes gravy. So I think it's the meat affiliation. At least that's what my mother called it. God rest her soul. She was a gravy person, so I grew up at gravy. Then when I met the wife and I met her mom, it was sauce. So the first time that my family met her family, I was sitting there sweating bullets when we were having dinner, saying, "Mom, please don't
bring it up.
Please
Don't bring it up.
Yeah, and I'm saying, I hope she don't say sauce because this may lead to the relationship ending right.
This is going to be a pretty quick dinner if this conversation goes.
Exactly. That's a little bit of sauce and a little bit of the gravy.
I don't care where you're from. An Italian family is an Italian family.
Right.
On the pizza, though, I am going to say I'm slightly disappointed that you said Giordano's because honestly, I think that's garbage.
So I assume you've been to Chicago and had the pizza. Where have you been?
I have. My last trip to Chicago, I went to 6 places to try pizza because I was on a mission to try to find what people said was good pizza. And I did find Lou Malnati's is delicious. Yeah. I like the fresh tomatoes. I like that. But my favorite one was Pequod's.
Yeah.
Sports bar. Yeah. That's number 1 on the list, and I would go back there for that.
Pequod's is very popular. It doesn't really get added. There's so many other places that don't get added to the conversation. I honestly couldn't tell you why, but the big three, and I mean, Chicago gets known as the, is known as the deep dish. The deep dish is Chicago style, which, I don't know if I totally agree with because there's so many different kinds, but yeah, there's so many other places that get left out of the conversation that for touristy reasons, you wouldn't think of going to, when you come here. But
it's sausage patty or it's sliced sausage. Like I think it's worse there when it comes to Pizza Wars than it is here.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so I got to ask you, first of all, how old are you?
I actually have.
Oh,
have you ever been to Forno Rosso? Forno Rosso actually is an incredible spot. They have a West Loop location and a Northwest side. That doesn't mean anything to you guys, but if anybody's from Chicago listening, it's Napolitan style pizza. It's one of those places where you order and you don't even know who's making it, but you can see the guy making it and his back, and it comes out in like 3 minutes, and it's the best thing since. So this is actually it's got grease on it. I tried to clean up from changing my damn oil with my cousin, but yeah, it's got this is what I'm wearing. I'm realizing in the shot that I have feed on, and you're probably all wondering what the hell it says.
We just assume that you're always hungry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Feed me is really all you need to know because I just like to eat. So pizza or not, but I'm sorry. What were you going to ask me?
No, I was getting to. I wanted to understand. So how long and how you've been on this little run? You've built up your followers on, as we call it, the TikTok. How long have you been doing impressions for?
How long doing impressions for?
Yeah.
As long as I can remember. In terms of putting it on social media, the first TikTok I did, if that's what you're asking, was the end of April, mid to end of April.
So, you were always the one you were always the kid that was asked, "Can you do the impression of this guy?"
A little bit. I guess after watching a movie with my family, there was always a character that fascinated me, or a scene from a movie that fascinated me, and I would always annoy my family with a quote or a line of something, just because I just loved movies growing up. So
I feel like I'm watching myself, Nick.
Because he's much younger than me.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm going back 100 years ago in my life, right? But I did the same thing. The first person, I think it was like a Dean Martin roast, and my dad had it on. We had the round scene.
Oh my God!
Legs, and Rich Little was on, and Rich Little did all these impressions.
Was so good.
And I sat there like with my mouth open, like, this guy is just like, I can't believe this is what I want to do. And as I did the same thing, I get older and watch a movie, and I start like quoting the whole line of the movie and like a half hour of the movie. My parents would be like, "Enough with the movie stuff already." And then that's where like
when are you moving out? Is what I get.
Yeah. Right, exactly, yeah. But it's so I can kind of relate to that because you know what? That's I mean, when you're the guy that all your friends and the family's like, "Hey, could you do that scene? Hey, could you imitate that guy?" It's like, "All right, I'll do. I just did it like a day ago, but I'll do it again." That's fine.
Well, you know what's funny is that it doesn't matter whether or not people around you know what the hell you're talking about. Sometimes I'll just do them. I had a buddy of mine I went to high school with would do the same thing, and they would just laugh because they assumed that they were supposed to know the movie, and even if they didn't, they were just like, "Oh, yeah, he's quoting the movie again." All right, like. So it didn't even matter what the response was. It wasn't even for entertainment purposes. It was just the fact that it was like I had to get it out because it was on my mind all the time. And so, yeah, it's always a good time.
So you just posted at the end of April, your first TikTok. And
right.
At this moment, how many followers do you have?
I made the TikTok at the end of April. On Instagram, I had about 900, maybe 850 or 900. So
that is it's
yeah, he's very talented. He's very good. I mean, I don't know if you've considered doing it. Maybe you have, but if you ever wanted to get into doing comedy, going to clubs and doing, I mean, I don't know if you've ever done it. Have you gone that route?
I've never done stand-up comedy. It's definitely a where I want to go. I don't really from Frank Caliendo, I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Sure, yeah,
He's one of my role models. He's, I think, arguably the best impressionist, one of the best impressionists to go down. He I don't know how many guys can make a career out of what he does.
Right.
Because it's so hard to have like the depth that he can go into and the variety. So not that the bar is too high for me. I just think I have my passions kind of lie closer to like acting or comedy. So not that I don't want to be an impressionist, but I think I can maybe take advantage of a career in stand-up comedy or acting. So it's definitely been a blessing to have gotten an audience this quickly in just a couple months, because now I feel like once things start opening up again, I have, I can start posting some of the bits that I do. And if I ever go to a city like maybe New York and there's a couple thousand people that follow me, I can throw it out there, and it's a good way to have a base going. But I did another interview a week ago too, maybe. It's inside jokes with the Toronto Global News, the 640 AM 640. I don't know if you guys are familiar, and they kind of call the generation TikTok, and because of the pandemic, it's so I'm definitely not the only one that's been able to take advantage of people's need for entertainment the past couple of months. So it's been a ton of fun, and I hope to take advantage of it in the comedy world. So
I don't know how old you are. Did he say how old he was?
No.
How
26.
old?
26.
Oh my
So
God.
did quarantine just get to you and you said, I'm gonna post this on TikTok? Or what was it?
I mean, it was kind of like one of those things, like quoting the movie in the hallway and no one's listening to you. It's like, I might as well just start putting these on the internet and see. No, I mean, it was my family was very motivating in that regard. My sister was doing the TikTok. We all moved home. My sister moved home from her apartment. I moved home. We were all working remote. My brother came home from college. So it was a ton of fun. All five of us back in the house again. And my sister was doing these TikTok dances. And my brother posted one dumb video and got 1 million views. And then he was like, he's like, I'm good. I'm hanging it up. I got 1 million view video. I'm done. And so my parents are like, Nick, like, you can't just keep playing Call of Duty. So why don't you just, take advantage of the time? And obviously they were right about that. So once I started posting a few and had just a little bit of a following, I was like, this could be a blast. So why not just go all at it? So
Chicago is almost the home
Second city
of comedy
Second city
in the
television.
United States. Besides New York, it's probably the funniest city in the United States.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got,
it's great to hear. Yeah, Second City has produced a ton of.
oh my God.
Toronto, even out of Toronto, like the Second City Toronto guy, Aykroyd and Candy and Eugene Levy. What was that?
From the Great White North, from Second City TV.
I don't. Oh my God, I haven't seen that.
Oh,
We're young, remember?
Well, yeah, we're giving our age away.
They're old.
Thanks, Frank. Well, we're giving
go
our
on
age away.
to the YouTube and check out SCTV from back in the day, and you get some old Eugene Levy.
Really old.
And he was hysterical even
Him and
then.
Catherine O'Hara.
And Catherine
together,
O'Hara. Oh my God.
They're hysterical bits.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I mean,
Wait, Catherine O'Hara. So does that explain that? I knew they were both Second City together, but Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara in the show Schitt's Creek.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Was that that must have inspired the casting then for Schitt's Creek?
Well, Schitt's Creek, it's him, his son, his daughter, Twyla, his daughter, and then him and Catherine O'Hara have been working together forever.
Yeah.
So if you actually go back and follow their career, they've been they
were
work so well.
Best of Show, probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen with those two in it. Oh my gosh. They are just they just have perfect timing with each other. They really
It's all about the time.
perfect chemistry.
I love it.
And very believable.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I have to give it look it up for sure.
Oh, you gotta check it
You
out.
should check it out.
Check it out.
Oh yeah, do it while you're young, Nick. If I can offer you one piece of advice from one paisan to another, if I can offer you a little bit of advice, like a Dutch uncle, right, type thing, do the comedy thing. Get into acting, which I think is great because you're a good-looking guy. You probably make it, right? So
sweat my ass off over here. Thank you.
Okay, that's all right. That's all part of the act.
Shower for you guys. I'm like,
That's
holy
okay.
shit.
That's good. But I'm saying, give it a shot. Give the stand-up comedy a shot. At least try it, and maybe somebody sees you. Maybe you get that instant. It clicks, and somebody says, "Hey, this guy is funny. He's handsome. He's from Chicago. He's Italian. Maybe we got another guy we could throw out there and make him the next maybe Sylvester Stallone. Who knows?"
Oh my God.
Well, I heard you got the thumbs up from Sebastian Maniscalco himself.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I was speechless. I didn't know what to say. Getting a call from someone from Kimmel and then watching it, my parents are going nuts and I'm just kind of, I'm like, how is this happening? You know what I mean? So if you would have told me in April when I was just, in a bad mood working from home before making a TikTok that Sebastian was going to put you on TV, I would have, no chance in hell. So, but here we are. So yeah, it's been a blast. But how about you guys? I mean, I know you probably have explained this multiple times on the show, but the bowling alley, you guys have been closed, I assume, because of the pandemic. So you started doing a show.
Yep. Since
March 21st was episode 1.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I was listening. I joined for a little while. You guys didn't even need me in here. You were having a blast, just talking about paying the bus. I was like, what am I doing here? I got to go take care of the car. You guys got this down.
No. We started this. We didn't think we'd be here 117 episodes later, but we've been doing this since March. It just simply grew out of a conversation, and we just. It's one to stay relevant and continue a conversation with our community. And we were 7 days a week. We brought it down to 5. We moved the time a little bit earlier, which we're still tinkering with. Yep. But you know what? It's been great because we're having great conversations and delivering content that nobody else is doing anymore.
Right. There were people that they came in, they did it for a couple of weeks, or they did it for a month. Right. And then they bailed. They punked out. Bailed. Yeah, they punked out.
So it's fun, and so having people like you on the show has been awesome. And I gotta. So you upload your first video, and your second video, your third video. When did you realize that? Oh,
wait!
Whoa! I must have hit somebody's For You page, and it blew up, and your phone, and then you went back and saw that you had tens of thousands of views. What was that moment? What was that moment?
There was a couple. It was a couple of videos in, maybe after just a couple of weeks, where I saw the views, proportionally higher than the amount of followers I had, and I didn't really understand the algorithm or anything like that. But to answer your question, what really clicked for me was when I was getting reached out to by people I haven't talked to in years, and my buddy's grandpa texted my buddy, was like, hey, I need to follow Nick's stuff since you showed it to me last weekend or whatever. And just friends I haven't talked to in forever, and friends of friends and neighbors, the variety of people that were entertained. I'm like, this is the last thing I expected. So I knew I had a diverse audience just from the family and friends that I haven't talked to in a while. And then, of course, the views picked up a little bit, which was really cool. But I would say definitely realizing that it wasn't just my buddies that thought what I was doing was funny, which, it was more of just the random people I haven't talked to in years that texted me and said, you made my day with this thing. I'm like, wow. All right. Well, I guess we'll keep this going. If this guy I thought didn't like me, texted me, stuff like that, you don't expect that stuff. So why not just keep it going? So
that's cool. You've been at it for a little bit less than we have. And for our show, we have about almost 160,000 views, which is pretty impressive. But
yeah,
I mean, the one video we showed yesterday, the Dunkin' Donuts video, which is absolutely hilarious, very relatable. I think when I was stalking your page, I think is one of the most viewed videos. Is that right?
Yes, I think it is.
Did that really happen?
100%. I filmed that. I got my coffee at Dunkin'. I drove home, and I got a bit. I'm filming this now, and I didn't even. Yeah, I did it right away. If you can't really tell, I do Sebastian's impression, but it's all my material. So there's a lot of comments and things that people don't like. He's never done that one before, and I get people's confusion. But instead of me just doing my own stand-up, which I might start doing now, and just putting it up there, I figured it'd be fun to do it. Because I'll react the same way kind of Sebastian does. So if I'm going to do an impression, I might as well just tell the story in his voice, and So
yeah, you should for sure. That's part of the advice that I was trying. I did that, but I started too late. I started doing stand-up comedy. I mean, it's never too late, But I didn't start doing it till I was 38. I already had a couple of kids.
He was
I had a
already
full-time
bald.
job. I already employed all my life. I used to be 6'5", 250 pounds, a strapping guy, and then I got married and had 3 kids, and look at me now. But
6'5". What did you? How many inches? How did you shrink?
they beat me down. My family destroyed me.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. But
Oh my god.
the fact is, do it while you're young. Get out there, get yourself noticed. Just be you and do you. And what you did is, if you kind of see something, you're like, that's a bit. I got it. See, I did it for it was so long ago. I used to keep a notepad next to my bed and wake up with a thought in the middle of the night and write it down. And then get up the next day and start to rehearse it in my head. And then after I got a couple of those, I'm like, all right, you know what? Now I can go do a Caroline's gig. I can go do a Gotham gig. I could go to those clubs and I could do it. And the truth is, I had a lot of fun doing it. But it's hard to make a career out of it when you already have a family and you have a full-time job and all that. And I had a blast doing it. But after like 5 years, I said, enough. You know what? I had fun.
Sure.
Great. But if I was your age, 26, I have 2 sons, 28 and 23. So you're right in the middle of my son's ages. But
Yeah.
you know what? Just a piece of advice, do it, man. Because I'm telling you, I got a good feeling. I see your delivery. I see how you tell the story. And it's your story, but you're doing it as another person doing the impression. And to me, that's 1,000% what the comedy clubs and what people in the audience want to see. I mean, when I started doing impressions,
Well, thank you.
I'm like, oh yeah, he's doing this guy. Oh yeah, but I was doing it, telling my story. So that's kind of what you're doing. And if I can give you one piece of advice, now you could say, this guy's crazy. You don't know what he's talking about, but just a piece
No,
of it.
I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
You know what, Nick? Do it, man. I'm telling you. Come to New York and do it. I'll be sitting there rooting you on. Believe me, I'll go to the club and root you on.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I'll take your word for it. I appreciate it.
As if you didn't have your family breaking your chops, telling you to go ahead, go do it. Go do it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
Go ahead.
So, and
That's exactly what it is. You're my buddies. Oh, that's hilarious. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You got to do it. You don't understand. You got to do it.
It's funny.
You got to do it.
there's a kid on TikTok with his grandmother, Mima. I forgot the kid's name, but he's absolutely hilarious. And it started as a joke. Now it's not really a joke anymore. I think it's purely they're purely acting at this point. But it's the same thing. And he was making fun of her,
Right.
and she's giving it back to him.
Right.
And they just go back and forth for months. And then now it's a thing. So I don't even watch it anymore. So you talk about your getting a writer. My brother's a writer. Joe knows the same thing. You write from your real life experiences, right? So, and that's I think the cool part about what you're doing. You're not just doing an impression of something, because Christopher Walken has never said any of the things that you say.
I highly doubt it.
So all right, so you went to Dunkin' Donuts and you get that inspiration. You have to have. Is your family your inspiration? Like you see something stupid that they do, or something that take us through your creative process.
Oh man, it's a variety of things. I think it's the style of comedy my family has, which is, I have to credit Sebastian, kind of similar in terms of just observing and being like, what is he doing? What's she doing? That makes no sense. Or the observational type thing is definitely big, but I don't really know specifically. I hate to say it just comes to me because I that's a bad answer, but I think over time, I think of different dynamics of characters. Like Second City was a huge inspiration. It was really, really what kind of sparked the creativity that I didn't really know I had before. And I think after doing that for a year and performing on stage and doing the shows with my improv class and my team, it really inspired the creativity in the writing and creating a scene and realizing what works and what doesn't work. So originally, the first TikTok I did was Christopher Walken and Tony Soprano room at college. The original theme was going to be for this TikTok. I didn't know at the time it'd be a series, but it's kind of turned into that just based on the comments. Is how funny would it be to see your favorite actors, celebrities, and comedians back at college together? Like what would they do and what would they say? And Soprano and Walken became the roommates because I just think that the characters that I had in mind for both of them would work because they were the opposite. Tony's this dominant type A alpha male, and Christopher's kind of the aloof, super nice roommate who is harmless. So I figured if that worked so well in just a matter of 5-10 videos, why not just keep adding these duos of people? And it's turned into something that hasn't even been, for me on the back end, to put so much time into the impression, but now just the creative and the so-called writing processes to see, well, how can this story get even better and better if people have been following it from day one? So it's definitely been a kind of a snowball effect in terms of the momentum and the storytelling. But I have to credit Second City because I didn't really think I would be so into the writing aspect of it.
Right.
And now it's kind of turned into an everyday thing for me is what story can I tell where these three characters can have a blast and do something that people wouldn't even expect. So
That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
Now it's hard to go back and watch your own work. I think that's with anybody that's creative, watching yourself. But if you go back and watch anything that you've done, is there one specifically that you just can't stop laughing, that uncontrollably you think about when you created this and you just can't stop?
That's a good question. I have to credit a buddy of mine and then someone that commented on TikTok. But the Olive Garden idea was not my idea. Someone commented, put Soprano, Walken, and Maniscalco at Olive Garden. And my buddy was like, it should be Walken's idea because Soprano and Maniscalco are Italian. So why not have Christopher Walken say they're going to get the guys dinner? And then all I needed was that. And that's something that is done well on TikTok that is – I will laugh at it still just because the idea, it wasn't you can only laugh at your own idea so much, but it wasn't my idea. So I can laugh at it and be like, this was awesome. That's what's so fun about social media and TikTok is people can throw suggestions out there and you can do it and there's no bad blood. Like everyone's just trying to share ideas and have fun and laugh together, and it's no harm, no foul as long as you credit the person. It's, there's no copywriting or anything like that. You can just have some fun and people will throw out new ideas and criticize, good and bad. And that's what makes it so exciting, in my opinion, is just that aspect of the collaboration. So
Yeah, for sure.
You need some more of your Italian family.
Yeah, believe me, I got a lot of material on my family when I was doing it, and my parents were laughing, and they were like, "Are we that bad?" I said, "Well, I had lived a little bit, but yeah, you guys do tend to drive me crazy." So, but yeah, so you got to go with that stuff for sure. Yep.
That's something everybody can relate to. I don't know if you guys have seen Nick Cassano. His name's Nicky Cass on TikTok and Instagram. He does the Italian dad versus the American dad and what they would say.
Really? Yeah.
We've become fast friends just through TikTok. He's actually just outside Manhattan, I think, in New York as well. But that's all his material. He's a riot. And he did one yesterday. I can't stop laughing at it, but he puts that long face filter on so it looks like the Godfather jaw, and he kind of talks in the accent. And he said, how come the bit was basically how come every time an Italian gets frustrated or they try to explain something, they always move the object in front of them. You guys have to watch it. But to your credit, what was I going to say? The Italian family material is endless. It's absolutely endless. So
sure. You know what, Nick? We got a little bit of something's happening. The alarms are going off in here. So Frankie had to step away. Naz had to step away. So we're just going to have a conversation like we know each other for however many years. Kind of like
it's no problem.
Yeah, kind of.
You got to keep the place running. You're going to have issues.
Yeah,
it's totally normal.
So something's going on here, but I'm sure Frankie will get it taken care of. But now I got to talk over this. But I can tell you that some of the things that I did, like with my dad, about having here. I don't know if you guys have it there, but here we have alternate side of the street parking, where a couple of days each week you can't park on a certain side of the street between the hours of like 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. so they can come by and sweep and clean the streets up.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen so much out here, but in the other boroughs, it's actually still going on. It's been going on for like 100 years. So when I first started driving, and me and my dad shared a car, so if God forbid I didn't get a spot on the right side of the street, he would, I got to get up. extra early and go move because you didn't park the car in the right spot. And the one time you parked in front of the hydrant, if there's a damn fire, they're going to come here with the axe to cut the car in half. Because
The car's going to be totaled.
I'm like, Dad, listen, I got home 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going around the block 15 times. Nobody's up. Nobody's pulling out of the spot.
Right.
You want to move the car? God bless you. Thank you for moving the car. But God forbid my dad got home on a Friday, Nick, and got a spot on the right side of the street for Monday on a Friday. He'd say, you can't take the car when you go out tonight. I don't care who you're going out with, your girlfriend, your friends, whatever. Take the bus. Take the bus. The car stays there till Monday. So I started working all that stuff in, and you know what? Before you know it, you got bits, and then you got a couple of more bits, and then you got yourself a couple of shows and a few gigs.
That is so funny.
I'm telling you, man, you got to do it.
It's hilarious you bring that up. So I just moved to the northwest side of Chicago. And it's a more neighborhood type feel. It's not your stereotypical downtown like Lincoln Park, North Side area. It's a lot of cops and firemen. It's the farthest northwest point in the city of Chicago. So you have to live in the city of Chicago to be first responders, police officer, fireman. So a lot of cops and firemen raise their family in this area. I don't know. I'm giving you the context of the neighborhood, but it's beside the point. There's a guy I told you I have that 99 DeVille that my grandmother drove.
Right.
There's a guy right down the block from me. He's got a black DTS. It's like an 02, 03.
Okay.
License plate is DTS Caddy. So this guy's he must have had this in his family for years because everyone wants DTS Caddy or whatever other type of model Cadillac. Yeah. He puts 2 orange traffic cones on the street where he parks when he's gone.
So
and then no one takes his spot, and then he comes back in. He puts the cones on the sidewalk, and no one says shit.
I know. Listen, you don't own.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, you don't own the street. It's a parking spot for anybody who lives here or visiting. You don't own it.
Obviously, I just love the audacity and the fact that nobody in the neighborhood says anything.
Yeah, it's like that's the respect. That's his spot. You can't touch it. That's his spot.
And I've only been living here 2 months, but I've never seen the guy. I just love that the type of car. It wouldn't make sense if it was like I don't know, a Toyota Avalon or even like a BMW. Like the fact that it's a black Cadillac, I don't know. It's got of course the mob stereotype to it, but I just think it's funny. If I had to pick one car that was going to put cones out when he was driving around, it'd be a black Cadillac. So.
Sure.
But he had to save the spot on the city street, man. I totally get where you're coming from.
We have people who do it here too, Nick. And when I was a kid growing up back in the 70s, people used garbage cans, the old metal garbage cans.
Okay.
They would put their garbage cans there, and that's my spot. It's a spot on the street. You don't own the curb. It's in the street. Anybody can park there. So, but they almost tempt you. They're like, hey, listen, I'm going to move those cans because I got to park, And, I don't know about the neighborhoods there, but, I mean, parking when I was a kid, not really on our block. No one had a driveway, really. They were all, like, 4-family homes that were semi-attached, and it was a little, like, alleyway. So you had to park on the street. There was no driveway.
Right. Well, same thing here for the most part. I mean, my dad grew up pretty close to this area, northwest side of Chicago, and they all had their garage in an alley, but it was small, and the garage was storage because the houses weren't big, and the basement was for laundry and cooking. So there wasn't like the garage was all storage. And I remember being 9 or 10 years old. I don't know if you can hear the dog barking next door. I apologize if there's background. But
no, we had all the alarms going here.
It's a loud show. If we're not Italian enough, it just got a little more loud. I remember my mom had a Suburban. It was a 2000 Suburban. It must have been like 04 or 05. And he got a spot on the street at the house he grew up. So it was my grandparents' house. And he got totally boxed in, like bumper to bumper. And I just remember, being a kid and seeing for the first time how crazy city parking was. So my dad had to literally push the car behind him far enough so he could get out of the spot. Having a Suburban on a city street is your own problem, but the fact that people just don't give a crap, it's almost ruthless when it comes to parking on the city streets. So it's funny. It's definitely not just a New York or Chicago thing.
Definitely a lot of similarities between Chicago and the city here, and there's a lot of besides the Italian culture, forget the pizza. But with the Italian culture, there's a lot of same. We have a lot of the same issues and a lot of the same things that we can relate to. So that's why I think Nick would do awesome.
Did you
at
ask?
Caroline's.
I had one last
He
question
would be
for
great
Nick.
at Caroline's.
Did you ask him the baseball question?
Did I ask him the baseball?
Cubs or Sox?
Oh, baseball court, Cubs or Sox.
My dad grew up on the north side, so we're Cubs family. We're Cubs family.
I'm in the minority here, Nick, because Frankie and Naz and just about, I want to say 80% of this bowling center are Met fans, and I'm a Yankee fan. But
Okay.
I tread lightly. I don't boast. I don't, I just kind of wear my Yankee stuff. I don't have any on today, but I normally have a Yankee shirt or a Yankee cap. But
Sure.
it's all in good fun. We're good baseball fans, and when we have to zing each other, I'm sure the Sox fans and the Cubs fans are the same way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So is it a Staten Island thing or just the bowling, 80% of the bowling alley community or the Mets fans?
Oh, I think the bowling center here, about 80% of Met fans. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep, but just like the Sox and Cubs.
Just like
Yeah.
so different.
Yep.
Hey Nick, you're awesome. Anybody that's watching, go check him out. Nikki Smigs on the Instagram and the TikTok.
And
as
the
they call it.
TikTok. Yep, the TikTok.
I'm looking forward to seeing your stuff. And we share it and follow you as well. But thanks
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah.
Thanks for dropping in with us today.
It's been a ton of fun. I apologize for the last minute delay. It's not
Don't worry about
ideal, but
No. You're good.
Listen, Nick, you know what? I'll let you in on something, too. How more I can relate to you. My 23-year-old son is driving his grandmother's 1998 Chevy Cavalier right now.
Okay. All right. So I didn't even have to explain I mean,
Right. The minute you started saying that, I was like, oh, my God. That's why I feel like I can relate to you so much between the family stuff, the comedy, the doing the scenes from movies, and to the fact that you drive a 99 Caddy, and my son is driving his grandmother's 98 Chevy. So
well, when this crap clears up, I'll have to pay a visit because I enjoyed the conversation a lot, and you guys have been a ton of fun. I'll have to keep watching the show. So thanks so much for reaching out. I'm so happy this worked out, and we'll keep it going. I met some great people like you guys throughout this thing, so it's been a blessing, and I can't wait to see what comes of it for all of us. So.
Awesome. We're following you on the road to 1 million followers.
We wish you well, Nick.
Oh wow! Knock on wood. We'll see. But
push it out.
That's when we get to monetize this thing, right?
I'll let you guys know right away. We'll be in the same boat. How about that?
Awesome. You're great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you for having me. Had a
We'll see you
blast.
soon. See you.
Be well.
Take care.
Bye, Nick.
Thank you. You guys too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, what a fantastic young man. I felt like I knew him for years.
He's
You know?
funny.
It's
Yeah,
never
very,
a
very
dull
fun.
moment here at
Yeah.
Rabs. We had a power outage this week. Today, the fire alarm is going off. There's it says that there's smoke in the ductwork. We're checking it out. Sirens on their way. The firemen have now
Firemen are
arrived.
outside.
The alarm is
Kevin
going
Rock
off.
here?
I silenced it, shut it off, but hopefully there's no problem. So anyway,
Well, I'm in the middle of Ray's call
let me go and handle
with
this.
the doctor. And all of a sudden, I hear the alarm going off, and I'm like, what else could we possibly pile on top of it?
Yeah. Is this year over yet? Is the year over? Is it 2021 yet? For God's sakes, let this year end already. But I'll tell you what, man, it's a good thing Nick and I are Italian because no matter how loud it got in here,
You just kept
we just
going.
kept talking over
Kept
it.
going.
Got very animated and talking over it. So, I mean, it doesn't take much for me to get louder, and I'm sure Nick is the same way because and then you get all animated with the hands and everything going and all. So you can have a 747 in here and we'll talk over it. That's
Well,
fine.
listen, that's the way. That is the way.
Yep.
So are you on the TikTok?
I am not on the TikTok, but my daughter Jill, who is a 16-year-old, so the TikTok is very big in our house.
So listen,
I have to start following.
Joe, listen.
Yeah.
I'm 62.
Right. I know.
Come on. There's no age limit on the TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
Get on there.
I gotta get on there. I know.
There's interesting stuff on there. There's funny people. There's talented people. I tend to kind of like the funny. I tend to like the kind of comedy things and the DIYs because I like to do the crafty stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I think I kind of like about it is, and thank you too, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Really enjoyed it, even though I was gone for
Thank you.
short period of time, but Joe's got a smile on his face like he
I-
hasn't had for a very long
yeah,
time.
a long time. It's like I feel like I have now an adopted son. Now I have 3 sons.
Now
and
you
a
have
daughter.
to. Now you
Instead
have
of
to
2 sons and a
follow
daughter.
him.
Yes.
Follow
yes.
up on him.
Yep.
And make sure he follows the right path.
Yes, I'm gonna try to do my best to be that Dutch uncle. Like
There it is, the Dutch uncle. The Dutch uncle.
As you missed, Joe was giving advice to me.
Yeah, we were just going over it.
No,
Yeah.
just like,
I did. I'll check it out. Okay.
Yeah, I said start when you're young. Do it
yeah,
while
I
you're
was
young.
here for part of
Yeah.
that when he was giving him some advice
Oh,
yeah.
about how to.
Fantastic young man. I when he started saying about doing scenes from the movies,
Yeah.
and I got like a chill in my body. I was like, oh my god, that was me, like in
See?
1974.
So look how that turned out.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be here on a day that you were
That I was
supposed to
here.
be here,
Yeah,
and it all came
Just
together
all the stars aligned, karma, all that good stuff.
throughout all the other nonsense
All
that's
the
going
stuff,
on in
all
this
the
building
stuff
right now.
that's
We
going on.
almost curbed the fire department. I didn't get to the box in time to stop the alarm.
Ah.
So I did silence the alarm. And so Melissa is here. She's going outside to go check out the firemen in the truck. Because she has a thing for firemen.
Once an employee, always an employee.
Fortunately,
Uncle
Joe.
Joe.
He called me Uncle Joe.
Uncle
Joe,
Uncle Joe.
Joe.
It's too funny. Fortunately, because it's always something. The electrical box on the unit, one of the units was
Oh boy.
zapping.
Oh
So
boy.
Jimmy's up there, shut it down. Scarin is on their way.
Okay.
But never a dull moment here. In
Never a
Traps.
dull moment.
Really, never a dull
Never
moment.
a dull moment. Not this year, anyway.
Oh.
That's for sure.
2020 cannot end soon enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, Joe, today's meme of the day.
Yes. Let's share the meme.
It's the mask complaining about having the worst job.
Mm. And the toilet
Oh,
paper. And the toilet paper saying, "Oh, boo-hoo! You want to talk about bad jobs? I'll debate you on that one." That's a coin flip right there, but I got to lean towards the toilet paper.
I think so.
Notice there's no sympathy at all.
Yeah,
from
no.
the, from the toilet paper
No,
at all.
no.
I
Here's the
can't.
fireman.
Well,
Melissa went the wrong way.
that was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot.
As Naz would always remind you, smash the like button, share with your friends,
Yes.
click that little bell.
Listen, in
to get
spite of
notified.
everything that's going on, we are still here.
Right.
Still
And through all that, the show still went on.
went
The
on.
show
Show went on.
must go on.
We're gonna have to feed these firemen now. And, be safe, stay healthy.
Have a great
Please.
weekend.
Have a great weekend.
We
Enjoy.
will see you.
supposed to have some nice weather.
Yes.
We are. I hope so.
Indeed.
That's what we want.
Yes, indeed.
And we will see you on the Monday. In the
Yes.
meantime,
Yeah.
don't forget to follow Nikki Smiggs.
Please follow
And go
that young man.
Check it all out.
Please
I think
do.
he might be the memes of the day as we move along.
Yeah.
Cool. This is- that's
Cool.
That's
That's a
great
great
content.
idea.
And
Great
we
idea.
didn't bleep out the explicitives.
That's okay.
So he is now. I think he's now the first one to drop the F bomb on the show
Yes.
through a video.
Right.
It's comedy.
Um,
It's okay. It's comedy.
It's comedy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like
Yes,
Ron,
it is.
like Uncle Ronnie says, live TV.
Live
for you.
television.
You never know. Naz had a phone call. The alarm's
Yep.
going off. Power went
Ronnie
out.
called it live television, as we know.
It's episode 117. You know, by the time we come this week, episode 120, you just
Yeah.
don't know.
Who knows?
Joe, thanks for being here.
Oh,
Anytime.
this was
Anytime.
perfect.
Yeah, it was. I'm
This
glad.
was
I'm
divine.
glad today was the day I was here.
intervention.
Yeah, it was perfect. I got to meet a fine young man that hopefully has a bright future. I wish him nothing but the best, and I can't wait to. Hopefully, he does come and we get to meet.
Oh,
him.
that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be an
That'd be
evening.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have to. Is he a bowler?
We didn't ask.
I
Is
him.
he a
don't
bowler?
know.
We got to find out from Nicky if he
We'll
bowls.
make him a
We-
bowler. We'll make him a bowler.
In the meantime, enjoy your weekend.
And we'll bring
see you
some pizza
Monday.
in.
And we'll bring
Here
pizza.
at 12 noon. Thanks for watching.
Have a good
Night.
weekend.
Thank you. That was awesome.